Hello and welcome to the June-July Smart Trading Bi-Monthly newsletter. The US market is back to its key resistance area again now, and the Aussie has continued its rise. And I've certainly been enjoying the ride in the markets, building into my weekly trades by adding and pyramiding to them and continuing to add new trades to my daily trading system. So let me give you an update on the 4 trades I shared with you in my last newsletter video that are still open and running. But before I do, I just need to remind you that I'm not licensed to provide any personal investment advice. This video and all the charts and trades I share are for illustrative purposes only, and I'm just showing you how I view the current market and sharing this with you. So if you've been watching my previous videos, you will know that I predominantly trade 2 systems: a long-term weekly system, which is my buy and hold system, and I can hold shares anywhere from a few months to a few years with this system. And my goal is to get into healthy stage 2 shares that are running very nicely, enter into them, and if they continue staying healthy, continue adding and building on those trades and maximizing on the ones that do well and cutting the losses and keeping the ones that don't continue to be healthy small. And that's what trading's all about: maximizing on your profitable trades and keeping those losses to a minimum. And then I've got my medium-term daily system that I trade with CFDs, both long and short. This system's predominantly been trading long because that's what the direction the market is going in. I've got a series of long trades running with what I call swing trades. So a share will already be trending very nicely and I'll take out a swing move. I won't hold it as long term as I will with the weekly system. I'm just taking out small chunks in an already trending share. And I will hold trades from a few days to a few weeks with that system. So let's head on over to Metastock and let me give you an update on my trades. So on the screen here is the ASX 200. As you can see, it had originally built up some resistance where it had touched here, equal touch there, and then it pushed through and it's rising very nicely. We're heading up to its next key resistance, which it hasn't been beyond, if we zoom out, since 2007. So if we can get beyond this line here, we will be in blue sky territory for the Australian market, that is. So it's moving very nicely, the Australian market, and this leg up here since this year is what I have been capitalizing on. And I've got some really nice trades running, and I've been building into those trades continually with my weekly system and trading long with my daily swing trading system. Now let's have a look at the S&P 500. It's really stalled. This is a weekly chart of the S&P 500. It's struggling to break beyond this point here where it's touched, and it's touching right now. So there's some more pressure building up to that point, so it will be interesting to see whether it can push through. If it pushes beyond this line, then it's in blue sky territory. This index hasn't been beyond that line so far. Its highs of 2007 were taken out very early on, unlike the Australian market. So it's built up its own resistance over the past year at this level here, and it's pushing up there now. So it's at a very interesting point. So let's have an update on my trades. This is a weekly trade that I entered into on the 17th of August that I've been sharing with you. And I pyramided into this trade on the 15th of March and bought some more because the share had surpassed my pyramid points as per my trading plan rules. I have since added to this trade for a 3rd time and bought more. So it met my trading plan rules to enter again. So I built into that trade and I'm maximizing on that nice healthy run this share is having. And I've also received a dividend along the way as well. So that trade is still running very nicely. And I have my stop loss sitting underneath. So if there is any change, I have my stop loss set in the market and it will be acted on by my broker. Next trade I shared with you was this one. Had entered into this one the 15th of February when it started making new highs. Had really stored and built up resistance. Then it broke out to new highs. I've entered into it. It then offered a share purchase plan. So I bought some more with the share purchase plan. and I've also pyramided again on the 31st of May and bought some more. So I'm capitalizing on this run as well, and I've continued to add to this trade, which is still running very nicely, and my stop loss is still tracking underneath that one as well, and that stop is set in the market with my broker. Next trade was one that I had entered into on the 15th of April when it broke to new highs above $1.55. Had a beautiful move. It has stalled a bit, but it's getting some very nice support in here, so I'm not concerned by it. As long as it stays healthy, it holds support, and eventually it may push higher. Sometimes you have to be patient with shares, and I'll show you an example of one that I had to be patient with, but it's paid off because it has now broken out and I have now added to that trade. So every trade in the market's going to be different. Some you'll enter into and they'll go really well. Others you'll enter into and maybe that's the last high it makes and it falls, hits your stop and you take a small loss. You just don't know what's going to pan out in the market. But at the moment, I'm happy to stay with this one because it's still healthy and it's still staying above support. So there's nothing for me to do with this one. So let me show the example of the share I talked about that I had to be patient with. And this one may require patience as well. I don't know. So this was a share that I entered into with the weekly system back on the 15th of October. The share was nice and healthy, had been rising very nicely, had made new highs, fallen back, and I entered in on a retracement of that trend. It also built up a nice support area. It maintained that support area and continued to move higher, but started making equal highs, touching, and it did this for months. It's done it for the most part of this year, where it really struggled to push through that resistance area. But there was still an uptrend in place. It was still nice and healthy. It wasn't looking unhealthy, and I was happy to stay with the trade. Now it's pushed through that resistance, had new highs being made, so I've added to that trade. So there's some examples of trades I've entered into and they've taken off very quickly, and I've pyramided into them very quickly over a couple of months. And then there's ones like this where I had to be more patient with them, but the patience has paid off. And if it didn't and it couldn't break through resistance, then my stop loss was there and I would have just taken probably a break even trade if it fell back here, because I had my stop loss running on there. It was a little bit higher than my buy price as it continued to edge up. So I've always got my safety net in the market running underneath my share price, and I adjust that as the share moves my way, and that's always set online with my broker. So if the share hits that price point, I'll automatically be taken out of that trade. Now, a daily swing trade that I shared with you in my last newsletter video was this one that I entered into on the 16th of May. Share had been going sideways, had a beautiful gap up with a nice white candle, met my trading plan rules, came up in my system scan that day, liked what I saw, so I bought into it. And it's still been running very nicely. So this one has been a very nice swing trade that's been going on. So that one is still open and running as well. So that's an update on the trades that I shared with you previously and how they're going. And it's all just about sticking to your trading plan rules. If you don't have a trading plan, then don't forget my book Smart Trading Plans is available. You can purchase it through your local bookstores. I can order it in for you. It's also available in Kindle version on Amazon, or go to my website and I'll post a copy to you. It's available for sale on my website, and that is a step-by-step guide in developing a trading plan for the stock market. I can't stress how important it is to have a trading plan. Most people just get started in the market because maybe they got a hot tip, but there's no real strategy to it. To successfully trade in the market, you need to have good money management rules. You need to manage your risk, your market exposure, because anything can happen in the market. I've seen it. I've been in it. I've seen the World Trade Center crash. I've seen the market drop considerably in a very short space of time. I've been through the GFC. I've got my risk exposure set up to handle all sorts of situations in the market. And that's what you need to do as a trader. It's great while it's running really nicely and you need to take advantage of that. But if there is a change, you need to know how you're going to handle that as well. You don't want to be wiping out all your profits very quickly. And that's where money management comes in. I've also got my Ultimate Smart Trading Plan course, and I teach all my trading systems and strategies in that course. So if you want to know more about these trading systems and strategies and get inside my head, I share it all with you. And I have regular video updates, and there's also a mastermind forum with my clients that you'll get access to as well when you join that mentor program. And if you have any questions, please go to my website. My contact details are in the Contact Us area of my website. And if you haven't been to my website before, make sure you download the free special report and get the top 10 mistakes new traders make. You'll also go into my database, so you'll get an email when I send out my next bi-monthly newsletter video. Goodbye for now.